Nummy nummy. What I like to call bean flowers are really getting going. Could have entire meals of them at this point. And these will go for quite a while. This is how I harvest my daylilies. When the leaves are like grass, all coming up out of the ground, then they're daylilies. Asiatic lilies are likely to be toxic. Daylilies, you want to get an older type, because some of the new fancy ones aren't as edible, or they're going to taste bad. Something I've seen is that the lighter the color, the better the taste. So ideally these would be yellow. But these older type ones, I prefer dwarf, because they don't get as gangly. And I believe these are Stella d'Oro, which is a variety from like the 80s or so, that was made dwarf and ever-blooming. And it being ever-blooming means much more long-term food. As with almost anything, my favorite method of cooking these up is to stick them in the skillet and fry them. But I also really like them in soups. I haven't tried them baked till they're crispy yet, but I would like to try that. But this is almost an entire meal's worth of bean flowers, daylily pods, in 2 rows of plants. Look, it's my first raspberry off of this plant at all. Let's try it. Yay! It's very dry. Tastes good, but it's very dry. This week leading up has been pretty dry. Last night it poured. It rained so hard. So as you can see, I have these daylilies with the bean flowers planted all along here, all up and down here. Oh, there goes a helicopter. I don't know if we're gonna, it just went behind the shed when I pointed at it. All up and down here. I find that having them within view of the porch, like having at least one specimen of an edible food within view of the porch, is helpful to me, especially if it's something I have to get same day like these, because these go from ripe to overspent in the same day. So this helps me realize like when it's getting to the point where I got to get out here, and then I don't miss as many. I'm going to have to get like a basket or a box or something, because my hand's full and there's a ton more. It's a beautiful day out here. There goes a rabbit. Look at that, isn't that pretty? That's freaking pretty. But I don't have any up here at all. But then starting over there, I've got a bunch. Milkweed's starting to bloom. That's nice. And I have an escaped box over here. There was quite the storm yesterday. It probably just blew away. Oh, I can't get past it. I'm tripping on the thing. So you can see there's a bunch up in there. There's one that got overripe in there. There's a bunch all up here. They're on each corner of this. None in this row. None in this back quarter here. But an entire row of them right here. This is parsnips, but here, all of that is daylilies, and then there's just one at the end that I didn't divide up. This is all just from one plant that I divided up a few years ago. every single one we just looked at. And then there's this plant that I didn't divide up. And there goes that baby bunny again. You see it? It's right here. We'll get close until it moves again. There you go. You know what? I hate rabbits. I do. I hate rabbits. They do eat the whole garden, but, starting to like them better than groundhogs. So, I don't know. This is the original size of these, but once you divide them out, they start to divide a lot quicker, or at least a lot more efficiently. There might be more of these, like, stacked underneath themselves and choking each other out in this bigger one. I'm thinking of lifting this whole thing, because it's kind of in the way right here, and putting it in that empty spot there by the road. Whenever I'm working outside of the home, because of course with the pandemic and everything, I'm one of the really lucky people that's still working from home, and I'm really grateful for that. But when I am working off-site for my 9 to 5, or whatever you want to call it, my day job, a lot of my reminder to harvest things is while I'm walking up from the bus. And I'm like, oh, that's ready. It's been really nice being home all the time. I can finish my work day and just wander right out into the garden. So nice. Not sure quite yet what I'm going to do with all these walking onion tops that I didn't harvest. It's probably about 300 new onions off of 12. They get overwhelming real quick if you just let them do their thing. You can end up with nothing but onions. So it's a serious deal. And I let a few too many of them do their thing this year. Dang. My bad. Few more cherries coming in here. But I think I'll wait one more day and just attack the whole rest of the bush. My neighbor's child is in a frequent shrieking stage of life. I've got a little bit more of these. I'm actually just going to eat this one. They're a little less flavorful when they're not left on the counter an extra day to turn black, but they still taste really good. Yeah, so my harvesting list for tonight is the rest of the bean flowers and however many Saskatoons I can find. So happy it rained and cooled down. Yesterday it felt like it was probably around 95 degrees. That was a lot. I might have found a home for my, good for nothing but leaves and flowers rhubarb. If so, I'm happy about that. This plant is something I might have to kill otherwise. But a friend of mine has started keeping bees, and oxalic acid helps keep away the mites that hurt honeybees. So putting a whole leaf of rhubarb on top of the hive is perfect. Looks like I've got another either oak or, at this stage of life, it's hard to tell between the oaks and the black walnuts. But they don't start getting their big compound leaves till they're older if they're black walnuts. They look really the same until then. But I gotta dig that out. I'm finding all these little baby trees, and that's how I have a bunch of little baby trees in the gully. Which is, let's see if I can successfully get past the box a little more gracefully this time. There we go. The gully that I put by the elderberries here to help them do better in life is the water catchment for, and you can, oh wow, there's so much silt in here. That rain was intense last night. It went hard all night. That's one reason. Never mind, I didn't say that. So you can see a lot of the backsplash from the rain, and It's just like the pots are all covered in silt and backsplash of dirt. So that gives you an idea how hard it rained. And it looks like a lot of the water sunk in. I didn't get a chance to come out and look at it because it didn't start raining till 10 p.m. and it was real dark. And that's just kind of like a lot to try and figure out all at once that way. So, yeah, these are very well watered too because they were in the water catch area. But I should need to lift them soon. And when I lift them up, I'll just use a small trowel and get that high nutrient silt up at the bottom. That's good stuff. Alright, it's harvest time. You now know what I'm after today. And I hope you're having a really good Thursday. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.